Hi, I'm Jeff Cohn, and thank you very much for being with us today. I'm here today with Mayor Rudez for the first edition of the Mayor's Corner for the Village of University Park. We're excited to be here with you. Happy New Year, Mayor.
Well, Happy New Year to you as well, Jeff, and Happy New Year to our residents. Absolutely.
Great.
Looking forward to an exciting 2020.
Great. I hope that everybody had a great holiday, and we're looking forward to a great New Year and a great decade. And the Mayor has today a guest with him, a very special guest with him today that's here to share some very important information with you, and I'm going to let the Mayor introduce her.
Fantastic, and thank you, Jeff. Well, today I have the privilege of introducing our former trustee, Trustee Sharon McGuire, who is also our chairperson for University Park Complete Count Census Committee. Sharon's going to come to you guys and explain how the process works and how much the census and how valuable and important it is to us as residents of our community. With no further ado, I'd be proud to introduce you guys to former trustee Sharon McGuire, our chairperson for the 2020 Complete Count Committee.
All right. Thank you, Mayor, so much for having me here to really come to our citizens to tell them the importance of the 2020 census. You know, we're always complaining about we don't have enough money for this, our taxes seem to be going up, but it's because a lot of times we have not completed our census. The census, the federal government has like $685 billion that will be distributed to the citizens of the United States. But you only get that money if you have responded to your census information forms. It's been quoted, I've heard that if per person that does not respond, we could lose between $1,400 to $1,800 per person a year for the next 10 years, because you know that we do the census every 10 years. Mm-hmm. So we're talking about federal funds that would not be coming into University Park, not be coming into the state of Illinois. So it's very important that when you get a card in the mail that should be coming, the first letter should be coming to us about March the 12th, and that will be for people to be able to respond on the internet. Okay. There are 3 ways that we can respond: on the internet, mm-hmm. via the phone, or you will get a questionnaire. Postcards for reminders will be coming out between March 16th and the 24th. Then there'll be another reminder between March 26th and April 3rd. And then the paper questionnaires will be coming out between April the 8th and April the 16th. April the 1st is our census day. I'm going to recommend to the mayor that sometime a village board meeting prior to that, I'm going to have a resolution to have April 1st University Park Census Day.
Okay, I like that. Okay.
I want to encourage our citizens to go to the website for the University Park. There is a plethora of information about the census. The young lady that puts that information on our website has been very diligent and committed to making sure that we have a lot of information on our website for the census.
And you know, I understand also the significance of the census is not only for the dollars, but it's also for the congressional seats as well.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you have said that, because we had a very low number. Our numbers are going down. We are probably definitely going to lose at least 1 congressional seat. And it looks like we may lose 2. So you say, okay, so what does that mean? Well, it means that we have less representation in Washington. We don't have people there that are talking for our interests and getting those fundings and programs into the state of Illinois. What does it mean? It means that when developers, I know the mayor people are always talking about, well, we want jobs here in University Park. Those businesses, your larger businesses, they take a look at the number of people in your particular area.
Yes, they do. Yes, they
They
do.
look at, and so if we are undercounted, I don't care how much the mayor says, but we've got 7,000 to 10,000 people in our area. But if that census is saying you only got 3 to 4, because that's who responded, then they're going to take their business someplace else.
With higher numbers.
Absolutely. I also want to encourage our residents to go online and apply for these census taking jobs. Census takers will be out in the community.
Okay.
That's nice paying hourly wages between $18, $19, $20, depending upon, I believe it's depending upon the county that you live in. But Will County, I believe it's like between $18, $19 an hour. You make your own hours, you work weekends, evenings. But I'd like us to count us.
Indeed.
Because I want to make sure that we are counted. There are people out there that don't want minorities counted. It means less funding that they have to send into that particular area. I want to make sure that when we are counted, that things are accurate.
Sure.
Things are secure. You don't have to worry about your information, getting out to anybody. What goes to Congress and the president at the end of December of this year will just be numbers. Will just be numbers and part of a statistical plan going to them.
Sure.
But nothing personal goes.
Right. So thank you very much.
I could keep going on.
No, I know you could.
Can you guys understand why she's my chairperson? Absolutely. And she brings a certain field of expertise.
Yeah.
And it's important because I'm a pro-development mayor and I'm very aggressive.
Okay.
And we want to have these programs and we want to make sure that the services are delivered to our residents. It's important to get these things counted. The last thing I talk about is anything levying more taxes on the taxpayers. Let's find other ways. Here's a good opportunity to get everyone counted. Let's get the services that we need for our residents, okay? So joining our trustee, Sharon McGuire, follow it. You'll get continuous updates. It'll be on our newsletter. It'll be on our Facebook page, our Twitter accounts, our village website. You'll hear about it consistently mentioned in our city council meetings. So join the wave. Let's get counted. Let's put University Park in the place that it needs to be, going toward number 1. So thank you again, Sharon.
Thank you so much.
me.
Great information that you shared.
Can one girl in a small town, an architect in a major city, and a suburban high school coach shape the future of the United States? Yes, they can. Because every 10 years, the census gives us that power. You can shape your future by responding to the 2020 census. Where do we need new roads to make our lives easier? Where will new school programs help our children thrive? Where could a new health clinic benefit neighborhoods? The 2020 census will inform these decisions and shape how billions of dollars will be distributed to communities like yours each year. And in 2020, you can respond to the census online, by phone, or by mail. It's easy, safe, and important. Make sure you and everyone you know is counted. Now is the time for you to get involved. Your community needs you. Together, we can educate and excite, inspire and make sure every voice is heard. Together, we can shape our future.
Mayor, that was pretty exciting information that former trustee Sharon McGuire shared with us about the 2020 census. We have a lot more to share with your stakeholders, so let's go ahead and get started.
Let's get started.
You know, we haven't been together since 2019, and so there was quite a bit that took place in the village of University Park during the holiday season. Would you like to share some of the programs that took place during the holiday season and after the new year?
Well, I guess to close out the year, we were very fortunate to have a tree lighting, which is the village's annual tree lighting, which was a fantastic event. Usually is to bring into the holiday spirit. Exchange Boulevard really looked nice with the lighting on the light post. Public Works did a fantastic job in dressing up the city. And I'm extremely proud to say that the Mayor's Office of Special Events Committee held a Christmas event where there were at least 150 plus children there.
Wow.
They were all given gifts and toys. There was food there. They had jerk turkey, fried turkey, and just the average baked turkey. We had Mr. and Mrs. Claus, and one of the most exciting parts of the night is when Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus came in on that fire truck, and I mean, it's like drop everything, and it was just actually good to see that kids were actually excited to see Santa Claus and enthusiastic about it. And that was a really good.
Excellent.
And again, much kudos to the Office of Special Events. They did a fantastic job. Those people who volunteer wholeheartedly, not expecting a dime, did a fantastic job. Every single kid had a present, boys and girls. There was music. Mrs. Stroud from the Senior Citizens Committee did a super fantastic job on decorating the room. And they had reindeers and everything. It was a very great event. Somehow we'll work on getting the information out to, because I'm inclusive. We want every single body to participate during those holidays. 150
kids, though, that's a pretty good turnout, though, for kids coming out and
good.
getting presents. So
yes.
Sounds like it was a very festive time.
It was.
But you've also been busy after the New Year as well. I understand that you all had a very celebrative occasion for MLK Day as well.
Yes, that was a very good event, and it's good to see that people are getting the interest back up and starting to support programs in the village, working with the Governor State University. This year's program was co-sponsored by the University Park MLK Committee, the University Park Public Library District, and the Moni Alliance of Churches. Very well attended. I had the privilege of giving the opening remarks, welcoming everybody into the great village of University Park. It was a fantastic program. The guest speaker was extremely good, and a Hispanic guy who had the values that we embellish as a people. It was very good. There was music and song and dance and celebratory things. So as we continue to work with our different entities in this community, we anticipate that celebration to continually grow.
Good. And it's important to have traditions that people look forward to, and that's one of the things that I appreciate about what you did last year with the various programs that you did last year. So you can only build from where you were as well.
Well, yeah, it's fair and equal opportunities for everyone.
Good.
And that's one part of his dream, and that's what we fight for today.
Excellent.
And it's good to see that he's still remembered.
Yep, the values is the most important part.
Absolutely.
His values.
Yes.
So, Mary, you also have something exciting that I've heard quite a few people talking about in the job fair, the Villages Industrial Park. People are already beginning to talk about that. So, what would you like for your residents to know about the jobs fair?
Well, it's in the works right now, and it's in partnership with our partners in our industrial park, the South Suburban Mayors and Management, and OAI, a job training facility. We have not nailed down an exact date, but I say that is something that we are really looking forward to in this spring of 2020. The plans are to create an atmosphere for opportunities for our residents. And when I talk about University Park residents getting employment, we also talk about the Southland. As we operate as one big family, it's extremely important that communities and people work together to employ our people, to enrich their skills and enrich the opportunities in our community. Is something that we're strongly supporting, and we're going to be aggressively pursuing those opportunities.
So you're saying that not only people from the village of University Park, but other Southland communities and residents will be welcomed as well. And you're going to reach out to them as well?
Absolutely.
Good. I'd like to share some information with other towns, so I'm hoping to get some additional information from
Hot
you.
off the press, you'll get it, because it's important, and we were working on better ways to have communication to our residents, because we really want them fully engaged. There's some great opportunities. University Park is a great village, and now it's time for us to start having our good harvest. Okay, good.
So there's a special event that's something planned in terms of a citywide garage sale that's coming up. That sounds like a good time, but also something very productive in terms for people to actually get rid of things that they don't want anymore. So that sounds fun. So
it does sound fun. It sounds fun for me because we all have things that are in our homes or in our garages that we may not utilize, but some other people can utilize it, and would be very grateful to receive some of those things. So as we approach, the date is Saturday, May 16th.
Okay.
Most people are basically doing their spring cleaning there, and we're asking for partnership with all of our residents in our community, and let's make this one big annual event that we can look forward to year after year after year. You know, I think what they're working on is the logistics. Should it be at one centralized location? So if you, the residents, have some suggestions, should it be at one centralized location, or should it be at everybody's individual house? I think that's the only coordination thing, because we want it to be effective. Again, I'm an inclusive mayor.
Right.
We want to bring folks together, you know, and I've got a lot of things that I can get rid of too, you know. Haste makes waste,
I'm
you know,
telling
waste
you.
not, want not. And if there's somebody that could use a old jacket that's sitting in there that I've been holding on to, because I'm thinking about, well, man, I used to wear that when I was a 32. Well, them 32 days are gone and they're not coming back. So let someone else be able to have the opportunity to get it at a very, very low price. So
one man's trash is another man's treasure. So,
absolutely. So
yeah, I lived in Evanston for quite a few years, and Evanston had one of the largest garage sales. That was one. That was something. No, in Evanston,
In Evanston?
Illinois, and they had it at the parking deck every single year, and they probably still have it. It was one of the most festive activities that they had. So that's one. I think you're picking up on something like that.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, it's time for our neighbors in this world today in society. You know, there's so much strange things going on,
Right.
and neighbors living right across from each other, not knowing each other. It's time for the people to get out in our community is what I would like to see, and get to know who your neighbor is. Get to know this person, and this garage sale would be a great opportunity to ride block by block or whatever way it goes, to see some houses, see the things that's going on in the community, see different segments of the town that you might never, you know, just go on your own just looking. So here's a great opportunity, and again, get them pack rats stuff out there and get it out there just to be sold at a good price.
I'm gonna have to bring some of my packed items over here to get them sold as well.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we've got to transition to the Aqua water situation, and I say unfortunately because you're having an ongoing fight with them in terms of making sure that they do the right thing for your residents. Could you please give us an update on how that is progressing?
Okay, let's start here, because that's something dear to my heart, and I want the residents to know that the mayor and his board of trustees and the whole administration are fighting day in and day out for justice and equality when it comes to our water rights. Let's start with the first report. First of all, I talked to the United States EPA and the Illinois EPA and the ICC pretty much once a week.
Okay.
The good news is that the process is adapting to the pipes and the coating is taking place. It's between 75 and 80% currently, according to the regulatory agencies. The benchmark is 90%, so they can reevaluate it, and maybe that we can be taken off this precautionary usage item.
Okay.
So I understand the process. The breach happened. We can't do anything about it, but the goal is to get it better. What the problem to me is, now Aqua, the challenge that I'm having and my residents are having, because if I have a complaint from my residents, I take it to bed with me. The services of the operational hours, 11 o'clock a.m. to 4 p.m. does not sit well with me, and just does not do. So there's a process going on with that, and I will explain that to you, because I think this is something important that people really need to understand.
Okay.
And there's some vitally important points that I like to make. The hours of operation, the quantity of water that the residents are able to pick up, the delivery of water to residents who may not have means of transportation to get there,
Right.
the back billing for sewage charges, and those and back billing and prorating the bill. And as we discuss Aqua, this might take a little more time, but time isn't an issue, because this is important, and I think our residents really need to fully know and understand what process is being taken
Absolutely.
place. So
let's tackle them one by one.
okay, so now this is the way the process goes. I don't constantly contact Aqua anymore. I use the authorities of the Illinois Attorney General office to enforce the things that I hear from our community. So the minute that this scenario started, the first thing I thought about was, heck, if people can't even come prior to going to work, if they don't get home by 4 o'clock, because 11 o'clock, most people are at work already. And unfortunately, that the majority of our residents, which is a good part of our residents, are good, hard-working families and people that have to go north or other areas outside the community. So that 4 o'clock p.m. cutoff does not work. The one case of water does not work. So let's go into the process.
Okay.
So the process is that I contact the Attorney General's office. I give them the input on what I'm hearing from the residents. I disclose all those things, the times, the hours, the quality of water, the distribution to the people who can't get to the faces. So what Attorney General does, they make notes. They go back and say, well, the mayor and the city council wants you to expand these hours. So they go and have dialogue with Aqua the following day. Then it takes a week for them to come back after their response from Aqua. Then once Aqua responds to the Attorney General, we set these calls up basically every Tuesday. So the Attorney General comes back and says, well, Aqua is willing to do this. And my response is then, whatever you guys can enforce, these are the desires of the residents of our community. And you guys working at the AG's office, you guys don't get off at 4 o'clock, so how can you possibly do it? And everybody agreed. So to cut through all the red tape, this has gone on for maybe a month and a half.
Oh, wow.
It takes a little bit time, and people just don't understand the legal ramifications, because you have to also remember that the Attorney General's office has filed a lawsuit on behalf of the Village of University Park.
Okay.
And there's a very gray and thin line that I have to walk as the mayor so I don't jeopardize the contents of the case to our residents can benefit. So this is what we've come up now. This is our last conversation. Tomorrow we talk to the Attorney General's office. Today is the 27th of January. This call will be taking place tomorrow, the 28th of January. So the response should be back. This is what we've asked of Aqua. We've asked Aqua we'll be content with their Monday hour from 11 to 4.
Okay.
But on Wednesdays, we want that facility open from 1 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m.
Okay.
They're not going to do it on Fridays. They're going to open up on Saturday. We want that facility open up from 10 o'clock a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. on Saturdays. We don't want a reasonable request for water denied, having them tell our residents that you're only going to get one case. If the residents want to pick up the water all at one time for their week, then so be it. Allow the residents to pick up their water for that one-time usage that week.
Okay.
For those residents, and we're working on compiling a list, and anybody that's out there who needs to have water delivered, who's still in the do not consume area, please contact Village Hall or the mayor's office, because we want to know who you are, for the sake of being that Aqua can have regular deliveries to these people who are on the advisory, so they can know that every Tuesday or Friday that they're going to get X amount of cases delivered to their homes.
Good.
The other part, everybody wants this to end. So this is the part that gets me. The EPA and everybody, the scientists and everybody says the only way to get this water solution solved is you have to encourage your residents, mayor, to run multiple faucets all throughout the house.
Right.
I say, I understand the process, but my problem is, when I tell those residents to run the water, go upstairs in your washroom and run the water, let it run forever, let it run, because I want this crap over, right? But in the meantime, then Aqua comes behind them and has these additional sewage charges on the water going out. And I say, what a complete buffoon that could be, that they take advantage of a process that's to help us to constantly continue to worry about financial status. So they tell me, well, what we're doing is that we're looking at last year's water bills and we're prorating it on that. Well, I say, well, what about Mrs. Jane, whose sons and daughters have moved out the house? Or what about the kids the families whose kids have gone off to college? and their water bills are reduced. So that's not fair either. Is it your main interest that to be worried about the financial scenario? I want to see a commitment from Aqua, because sooner or later the public trust has to be regained, and they have to do right by the people.
Right.
And it's a concern. The Attorney General say, well, Mayor, what would be your idealistic scenario? I say, well, you know, you got to be careful what you ask me. What I would really love in the idealistic scenario, which I have no doubt on saying because it's from my heart, it's the honest to God truth, is that you guys would condemn the water rights and give us an opportunity to bring in clean, fresh Lake Michigan water at an affordable price that our residents deserve. Because whether people realize it or not, water is the new oil. It's the vital key component to our economic development and growth. So it's important. And for the residents who don't know what the scenario is, somewhere down the line that Aqua has ownership rights of the sewage system, the transfer lines, the transfer stations, and all the water rights. And the village has no say-so whatsoever. Completely against it. I don't know how it happened. Some kind of prehistoric arrangement, but it doesn't benefit the future generation right now. And I don't understand it. There's not a document that can be found in our archives or anything that says that we have a contractual agreement with these people.
Okay.
So in an idealistic scenario, that's step number one. Idealistic, I would hope that the governor continues to hear my prayer as we knock on those doors. We declared an emergency for the sake of potentially just the thought of even just replacing the pipes on some of these old and ancient homes. We all talk about a crumbling infrastructure. So I'm one of those homes built in 1973. I'm one of those advisory members, so I feel the pain and the need from every single resident out there. It would be to replace the piping in the house.
Well, it sounds like you're fighting a good fight. Aqua's a large corporation, and it sounds like it's a legal matter now, so it's going to have to play itself out, and hopefully the things that you're asking Aqua for, they will provide that at the end of the day. They have a brand, and that brand has to do the right thing for people.
Yeah.
And it's important that you continue to fight, because the residents are the ones that's being hurt in this process.
Yeah. Do you know their negligence has caused this and created this problem? Show some compassion.
Right.
Show some genuine concern. And one more thing that I must make a note of. I noticed that they have, you know, some people take like their Hinckley and Smith 5-gallon things. They have like water coolers.
Sure.
One of the most outrageous things that just really irritated me is that I went to pick up water for myself, and the big old thing sits outside just frozen like a brick. Don't they even have the kindness of their heart to think about to bring it inside where the other water is in case people want to come get filled up? It's sitting outside like a block of ice. Are you kidding me?
So is there a number that the village can help you in this matter with Aqua to call?
You can have them call Village Hall, or they can call the mayor's office, which that number is 708-534-4237. And some of the other things, like Aqua's been open on Saturday for a couple of weeks now, but their language on their signage does not display that. It's like they don't want anyone to come because it clearly states Monday, Wednesday, and Friday only. But as Craig Blanchett had told me, well, Mayor, I gave you the Saturday that you asked for, but you put the signs up and no one knows it. And at one case per household, you don't understand people's household. And we would pray that the people who are asking for multiple cases of water actually need it, because they deserve that right. Sure. You know?
Absolutely.
And
they didn't correct
and I'm sorry, you done got me started on this thing. We want to talk about compliance sampling. This is important too. I was always concerned about this sampling, about always testing from the kitchen faucet. I fought and fought and fought, no matter who I talk to, who I speak to, EPA, Illinois, federal government, EPA. That's the nature of the beast. Because my concern is, well, most people that I know, that I think I know, including myself, I don't wake up in the morning and run down to the kitchen faucet and brush my teeth and wash up and do my business there. So I want to ensure that the water in our washroom or the upper bathrooms or another location in the house has the same quality and assurance that this compliance sampling is done. So they've give me all the points and all the statistics and all the numbers and everything. So compliance sampling has to be done in the kitchen faucet. But they will come out and test other faucets in your house if you request it. So that's the good thing. So at least we can understand what's going on in other areas of our home, because we don't want to say that this kitchen is good and the other house, the water sits dormant in the pipes because of non-usage, because the people are afraid to cut it on, because they're afraid to do the right thing, because the other people will attack them for their dollars. So we're in a catch-22 scenario.
Right.
So that's what's really going on.
So the good thing about it is that it sounds like you're fighting that
Oh
fight
man, listen,
on behalf.
a lot of
hope,
sleepless nights.
Hope that you don't stop the fight, and you have legal representation.
Oh,
It's
I do.
important for your residents and viewing audience to know that you do have legal representation. So it's not like you're fighting this by yourself.
Nowhere near alone. It's a matter. It's like the book, The Art of War. You gotta ensure that you do these things, because we don't want to, have anything go wrong with the legal issues as far as the lawsuits and stuff go like that. So
keep at it.
Hang in there, people.
All right, let's go.
Winners don't quit and quitters don't win. And
Right.
you know what? I'm gonna quit on this one.
Right. We said it from the beginning. So let's change to. Did you cover everything that you wanted to cover on that most important topic, though?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I did.
And you have given a number of people want to call where they can call your office to get assistance. And I hope that people do that. I mean, if they have issues in their delivery or concerns, you've always said that they can call you. So I do hope that people are taking you up on that. So now let's talk about something successful that has taken place, and that's a resurface project that you all did last year. And can you share a little bit about the schedule for this upcoming year and the streets of where that's going to take place, and how the state is assisting you?
Well, sure, Jeff. I'll be glad to talk about the STP grant, which is a street surface transportation program, which is a grant program which helps a lot of municipalities to get bad roads resurfaced, not cold patched and patched.
Okay.
So the deadline is March 24th.
Okay.
We are we're already doing our thing to make sure that we're in the running. We haven't done that before, but we're going to be getting those roads, because I understand that good streets are the key to a healthy communities and economic development as well. So we have applied for the STP grant. It's in progress for phase 1, and we're just looking forward to getting some of these streets done. We know the prioritized streets in the town, so we're not going to get into naming street by street by street.
Okay.
But we hear you, we see you. I'm out there riding that town with that city manager all the time, and we understand that, and we need it, and we're working on it. So don't let it seem like that was just something that was a catch line to be said. No, it's actually something that we're aggressively moving forward to remedy.
Does it include the sidewalk repairs as well?
Some does,
Okay.
yes. Some does, Jeff.
Great. So the last topic that I wanted to just share with you is a potential revenue producer for the village as well. And that's the plans for the Cannabis cultivation center to the industrial park. What would you like to share about the progress on that?
And then let me take a deep breath, because that's almost like the water.
Oh,
This is, I guess it's a part of the new generation on how municipalities fund themselves and provide the services and get the things done in their community. So our city council has passed our legislation. We have opted in. We really appreciate what the governor is doing with this program. So it's an opportunity for municipalities to raise revenue, create jobs in a brand new industry. So what the village has done as far as legislative, we've approved for the operation of a craft grower, which is actually the facility in which the flower is actually grown in for distribution out to the dispensaries and other entities like that.
Okay.
On the average basis, those things average probably about $15 million a year, and that's just at the average pace. But with that, out that $15 million a year, that's additional, not just sales tax revenue and other revenue for the municipality. Most of these companies that have come down to sit and ask about us entertaining them as their company comes to the community, if they're awarded a license, the community benefits. One company is offering $1.5 million annually every year to deemed use for any project deemed necessary in the city, services, buildings, whatever. This is something annually every year on top of the taxes and the jobs and things of that nature. So it seems to be a very lucrative operation. And looking at the governor's report, because they send out a cannabis report to all the surrounding towns and the mayors or whatever. And just in Chicago, from January 1st to January 12th, there were 495,394 transactions. There was $11,982,000 made in 12 days of the new venture of cannabis. And the good thing about the village of University Park, see, we're going to get our fair share. We've passed the highest rate for the governor's tax, which is at 3% of taxation on everything. But when this thing happens, we want to ensure that we have ample, good, qualified companies in our industrial park who hire our residents, who make community reinvestments. And those people from Chicago are going to be flying here because we're not going to tax them with the Cook County tax. We're not going to tax them with the city of Chicago tax. So they're going to be looking for good locations, idealistically located in our industrial park. Residents, that's important. Our zoning is only in our industrial park. You will not see a cannabis dispensary, cultivation center, infusion, processor, or transportation hub in any residential area. Everything will be west of Cicero that's zoned in our industrial area. And we're hoping that we get some of these companies. I just talked with the mayor in Homewood, when Windy City Cannabis, and they are doing phenomenal things. And if you look at some of the things that cannabis growth helps, this was just with the medical portion. You look at that corner of 175th at Halsted, and you look at the new Chick-fil-A, and you look at the Portillo's, and you look at that economic incubator over there. Those things were accomplished with sales tax and revenue that Homewood did.
Sure.
So with us in University Park and Will County, oh my goodness, it's an opportunity. Oh yeah, and there are 4 or 5 companies that we've been working with exclusively, hoping that they can come into the town, because these are the companies. Some companies are those who already have medical licenses, which we know, for those who don't know, will be some of the first companies that are awarded licenses. And the first set of licenses being awarded for the recreational comes out May 1st. So residents, keep your fingers crossed and just, keep us in your prayer, because this is an opportunity to get our Regal Farm and get our Hickok Pool up and going and get our town center and get the town in the reputation that we need. It's also going to be, looks like it's going to be a new training facility, a class at Governor State. I see they recently just had one. They had a certification class at Prairie State. Here's an opportunity for minorities to get into the business side of it. Here's an opportunity for felons who've had cannabis convictions in the past to get those things expunged and get into the business. This is great set-asides as a minority participation thing. So we're aggressively pursuing it. Our city council understands the need for revenue, and I'm proud to say that each one of those board members understands the need to generate revenue, and I applaud them all for supporting the agenda of the people, and our clerk and our whole administration. We're moving in that direction, so we're going to get there.
Good.
We're going to get something going good in town. Yeah.
Sounds like you are. You got a plan?
We got a plan.
You got a vision?
We got a vision.
All right.
Yeah. And it's something that we just, it's like sometimes you have to work on changing the culture, because I'm running into a lot, we've never done this before. We used to do it this way. And I explained to them, I understand, but see, everybody says change, and change is something that's evident. Tomorrow's going to be Tuesday, so it's already changed from Monday to Tuesday. It's just a part of life. And changing the culture and the mindset is something that people are getting used to, because we're not in like the Flintstones anymore. We're more like the Jetson generation.
That's right.
And if we close our eyes too long, we're going to be doing everything in space. So, so it's a challenge, but I think that the residents are just looking forward to the inclusiveness, us working together, us being a community. Again, I got to say that we've got our metro station, which is a transportation hub. We've got our I-57 interchange, which is doing fantastic things over there. We've got our own golf course. We've got our Pine Lake. We've got every educational component in this town that a person could ask for, from Head Start, kindergarten, all the way to your master's or your PhD, right here at Governor State University. We've got a very good high school here. We've got a world-class Coretta Scott King in the center of University Park as our magnet school that's in tops in the nation in performing. So there are a lot of hidden gems in University Park, and I'm here to dust those things off, man.
We'll make it happen. They got the right person for the job. You, every month that we've been doing the show, you've been showing progress, and I'm happy for you. I know that there are some challenges out there, some extra hurdles, but make sure you celebrate the hurdles that you do get over every time you get over those.
Yeah.
So that's important, and bring people together to celebrate your success, okay?
And you know what? It's not me. It's all about a team. As the mayor, I have a certain obligation. Again, I can't go back and say how grateful I am to have a progressive board of trustees. And even like where we are now, look at the professionalism that's down here at our studio. I'm very proud of those things.
Absolutely.
But you know
one
what?
of the best actually in this studio.
Yeah, absolutely. I really applaud the efforts and the work of everybody out here trying to make each day a better day as we move forward. And last but not, I'm not going to even say last but not least.
Okay.
I would not have the energy or the time to do any of this if it wasn't for my wife, Linda. Linda is my backbone, and she stands up and she supports the things that I do. And I'll tell you one thing, she's pretty and everything else, but listen, she's not going to let me bring no mess home. And she's serious about this. And she says that these people depending on you to give them good, solid leadership. So I applaud those efforts. And she understands truly how passionate I am about serving this community. You know, we've been together 40 plus years. She just about knows it all from the beginning to the end. Again, without her support and her stepping out to be a volunteer and helping to perform in some of these functions, and because she's really a quiet person, but she's really to stand out and be a good volunteer and work for the betterment of our community. So again, I just want to say thanks to that.
Good. Well, on that note, Mayor, we're going to end up right there because I think that's a special place to end our first episode of the Mayor's Corner for 2020 with you thanking Linda. So I thank you all very much for being with us today. I am Jeff Cohn of the Mayor's Corner.